welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel. If you're new around here, hi, I'm Steph, your new BFF, which is your beauty, fashion and fitness girly. But today I guess I'm also going to be your house buying advisor. Buying a house is literally probably one of the most exciting but equally overwhelming and stressful things you can ever do in your life. And I wish people would have advised me about or told me about certain things before I went into this process. So today I'm going to cut the bullshit and I'm going to give you my top 10 and a bonus one tips on buying your first home to make it the least stressful thing you can. And also stick around until the end because I'll be showing you an empty house tour of the new house that I am currently filming in. Not too much going on in the background right now because I haven't really had a chance to do anything to my office or the dressing room, which is, the space that I might be using to film, or the summer house. I know we have a summer house, but that will be coming at some point, so don't you worry. If that's your vibe, you should probably subscribe because I have plenty more home moving and home improvement DIY content planned in my head coming every Sunday, as well as the usual makeup content, so don't you worry about that. So without further ado, here are 10 things I wish I knew before buying a house. Tip number 1, do not pay for a mortgage broker. I should caveat this with saying you can pay for a mortgage broker, but I'm saying you don't have to. Now, we fell into this trap when we first started looking at houses a while back, where we'd find a house we like, we'd ring up the estate agent and they'd be like, oh, okay, we can put you in touch with one of our mortgage advisors, blah, blah, blah. And there's always a fee involved. Now, the ones that we've spoken to, it was roughly around about anywhere from £250 to £500, which is already a good chunk of money before you've even done everything else that I'm going to talk about in this video. So if you can avoid doing that, please do. The ones that we went with were called L&C mortgages, which is London and Country Mortgages. From what I've researched, they are one of, if not the biggest free mortgage broker in the UK. And they were absolutely brilliant. I could not fault them. They were really quick with everything. They answered all of our questions. They found the best deal for us. Now, I know people will argue that, going with a mortgage broker who you are paying for, they're more likely to try and get you a better deal to make sure they get a sale, because they will be then paid on commission from that fee. So they will get your fee, but they'll also be paid commission as well. They're salespeople at the end of the day. In our situation, there was literally only one option we could go for, which was the £5,000 deposit mortgage from Accord Mortgages through Yorkshire Building Society. So it was kind of like an all or nothing. It was either we got accepted for that mortgage or we weren't going to get one, because we just didn't have the money to spare to put down like a 10% deposit, a 5% deposit, or whatever else they were looking like. We literally did not, and everything had to move quite quickly. So we got really lucky in that sense with that. If it wasn't for London and Country, we probably wouldn't have been buying as quickly as we were, because everyone else, this is just our experience, but everyone else we'd spoken to who were asking for a fee in order to process everything for us, like the mortgage application, all that kind of stuff, they were just taking too long. Whereas L&C were literally on it. We were like, we found this house, this is the one we want. They ran their affordability check. They gave us our decision in principle based off of what they'd said. As soon as we'd put an offer in on the house, they were like, okay, let's get your mortgage application on the go. And they were like, once you're ready to go, you let me know and I will submit it. So as soon as we got the offer accepted, he pressed the button. Tip number 2, make sure you're factoring in the extra costs when it comes to you getting your money together. So I'm talking solicitors' fees. I'm talking if you are going to go with a paid mortgage advisor / mortgage broker, your deposit, obviously. Things like moving fees, maybe getting your locks changed when you move in, what are the costs you're going to have to put down on that house straight away to make it livable and in order to buy it. It's more than you think. And everybody always kind of puts so much focus on the deposit and nobody really talks about the other stuff. Obviously, your solicitor fees are going to depend on what it is you're buying. We naively took the advice of one of the other, like the paid mortgage brokers that we'd initially spoken to, and they gave us an estimate of about £1,500. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to be looking over 2,000 for solicitor fees. Easy. Ours, in the end, I'm pretty sure came to about 2,100 and some change. So as well as your deposit, that is something you're going to have to factor in straight away. So £2,000 off the bat is gone. You've also then got to think about things like stamp duty. And I'm pretty sure for first time buyers, the threshold is somewhere around, I want to say like the £300,000 mark. Don't quote me on that though. Our house luckily was under that threshold, so we didn't have to pay that. Otherwise we would have been paying £4,000 in stamp duty. So keep that in mind as well, especially when you're looking at these fancy new builds and they're coming in over 300,000. You're going to be paying some stamp duty. So get yourself a little note together in your phone or whatever and start writing everything down. All the costs that you're going to have to factor in, everything you want to get for the house, set priorities for things so you know like what things you need to buy straight away, what things you need to pay for straight away, what things you can kind of leave on the back burner but you want to buy at some point, and then the things that kind of like way later on down the line sort of thing, because it's more than your deposit that you're going to have to pay, trust me. Tip number 3, this is because I'm an absolute control freak and I like to make sure that all of the bills are covered and we still have a bit of money left to play around with ourselves. We have money for food, we have money for the cats, we have money for savings. That's just how I work. I like to know roughly how much disposable income I'm working with. So I would advise to try and mock up what your outgoings are going to be like with that house. Now, obviously you're thinking to yourself, well, Steph, I'm not going to know that until I know how much the mortgage is. I went on Money Supermarket and I just clicked on the mortgages bit, typed in what the house price was, like the full price of the house, what my deposit was, and then it gave me offers for things. So that will give you a rough estimate of what you're looking at in terms of the price for the mortgage. So if you're paying rent at the moment, just do a little switcheroo, check your council tax banding, because if that changes, that's obviously going to affect your outgoing. If it's roughly the same size house, you're probably going to be paying about the same for the rest of your utilities like gas, electric, water. But factor all those costs in, including all the other bits of outgoings that you have at the moment, and just see what you're working with. Tip number 4, when it comes to the mortgage, go for the longest term you can in order to keep the payments lower. And that might be scary because you're thinking, well, no, I'm just going to go for like a really short one, like a 25-year mortgage, 20 years, because I want to pay it off as quick as I can. Yes, I totally respect that. However, if you work out what those payments are over the 20 years versus a 35-year mortgage, you'll notice the big difference. And that difference is what you could then put towards an overpayment, because you don't want to be paying any more interest than you have to. And I'm not going to go into all of the mathematics of working out like how much of an overpayment will save you a certain amount of time and a certain amount of interest. All I will say is the more you can overpay, so the lower you can keep the actual monthly payment, the more you could then afford to overpay, which means over time, you're going to save time in the mortgage if you're overpaying, and you're also going to save interest, because the interest, even though it's charged daily, it comes off the capital when you make an overpayment. So you're saving then on interest. Girl math. Tip number 5. When it comes to your deposit, as much as everyone will tell you, you need a 10% deposit and 10% deposit. Lies. Absolute lies. And I can confirm that for a fact. We put down £5,000 as a deposit for this house. And no, this house did not cost us 50k, as much as I wish it had, but we put down a £5,000 deposit. And yes, that does mean that our mortgage is going to be a lot higher than a lot of other people's. However, it was affordable for us. We can still afford to make overpayments, and it made sense in order for us to get this house, because this is the one that we wanted, in the quickest time. And the time it took for us to get through all the buying process and all that kind of stuff, in that time we were able to save further money to pay for things like solicitors' fees and all the other stuff that I was talking about, having a bit of money together to buy things for the house. So when it comes to it, put down as little as you can to make sure that you have some money left in order to pay for all those things I mentioned earlier. So your solicitors, your survey, if you have to pay stamp duty, if you want to get the locks changed, your moving fees, all that kind of stuff adds up. If you want to furnish the house, like, it adds up, trust me. We've got everything. Like, we had everything. We had a sofa, we got a desk, I've got a desk chair, I've got a bed. The wardrobes, they left them. We had a TV unit, we had a TV, we had crockery, we had everything. So we thought, and then we moved in and we're like, shit, we don't have a bin. These are all things that add up. And you're also, if you're anything like me, you're going to want to buy things for the house to make it look nice. So put down as little as you can, because 10% deposits now, they're a dead thing. You don't have to do that anymore. There's 5% deposit options, there's 3% deposit options, there's 1% deposit options, there's the £5,000 one that we've gone for. There's even 100% mortgages. Do not put down 10%, because when you look, and do it for yourself if you don't believe me, if you look online and you look at what the price of a mortgage would be if you put down a 10% deposit versus putting down, say, 5%, 3%, a £5,000 one, a 1% deposit, if you look at the difference in price, it is not that much. And if you can keep it as low as you can in terms of the deposit while still keeping the mortgage affordable, you still have that little buffer there to make overpayments. The overpayments are what matter. So go for the longest term you can, like I said before, and put down as little as deposit as you can manage financially. Tip number 6. This one's kind of a lesson learned, and it's not absolutely necessary, but if I was thinking back now, like in hindsight, I probably would have done this slightly different. And that is making sure your solicitors are local. Now, ours, as great as they were, love them. Our solicitor, Paul, he was great. Love him. He was so quick with everything. It was literally, everything went so quick up until it was crunch time and we had to hand our notice in for our tenancy. Otherwise, we would have had to wait another month. That was when everything just kind of went, and everything slowed down, and it was like, what are you doing? And it was made even harder by the fact that they were based in Leicester. We're in Manchester. It's not like I could just pop down and be like, hey, what's going on? No, I had to ring them, and then sometimes they wouldn't answer. Or you'd email them, and then sometimes they wouldn't answer, and you're like... So, if you're in the process of buying a house, I would highly recommend making sure that your solicitors are local, so that if you are having any issues, you have any questions, anything like that, you can literally just pop down. Like the people that we were buying from, they used a local solicitor, and it was great for them because they could literally just pop down to the office and just be like, hi. Tip number 7. And this was a bit cheeky, but while it is a bit cheeky, it is not illegal. Just want to point that out. If you feel like there is going to be a lot of competition for the house that you're going for, which was the case for us, I would highly advise writing a letter explaining about your situation, why you love the house so much, and where you're at with everything. I wrote a letter that basically just talked about how much we loved the house, and you know, we were rented at the moment and we just really wanted to find somewhere that was home. And as soon as we walked in this house, it just felt like home. I explained how, you know, it's close to my family, so it's got like really good local connections for me. I also explained what our position was. It really worked in our favour, because nowadays what you get a lot of the time is either there's first time buyers, fair enough, or for the most part, it's investors buying properties to rent them out at a profit, which is not what a lot of people like. They don't like it. Unless they hate their neighbours. If they hate their neighbours, they're probably not going to care. Luckily, in our position, they wanted a quick sale. They did not want to sell to an investor because they like their neighbours. And they really liked my letter. Tip number 8, get everything in place as soon as possible. You don't need to be putting in offers in order to secure your mortgage broker, your solicitors, all that kind of stuff. They just need to know roughly what it is you're looking at price wise. Obviously they're going to need to know what property you're going to buy when you're putting in your mortgage application and stuff, but you can get all that stuff like ready so that then when you have put in an offer and stuff and it's been accepted, they're just ready to go. And it also looks attractive to the sellers who you're buying from, because if you haven't got all of that stuff ready, like your decision in principle, your mortgage broker, all that kind of stuff, they're kind of like, and that's where you'll get estate agents asking you for confirmation of your decision in principle, and they want proof of your deposit, and they want this and they want that. If you can just turn around and be like, look, we have everything in place, write it in the letter if you need to, that will go a hell of a long way in keeping your part stress-free and you looking more attractive to who you're trying to buy from, because they don't want to be messed about. Tip number 9. Do a declutter a few weeks before. Just do it. Because if you're anything like us, you accumulate a lot of crap and it just gets shoved in a cupboard somewhere or a drawer and you never look at it again. And then when it comes to moving, you're like, what the is this? Because when it comes to you moving then, you're going to end up doing a bit of a declutter as you're like packing things away or moving things out, because you'll get to a point where you're like, I don't even want it anymore. But if you've got to do that with absolutely everything you currently own, you'll want to be sick. Yeah, that was me. Don't be me. Just declutter it beforehand, and you can always do a declutter as you're packing things away and moving things out, and then you can do another declutter like we did as you're like packing things away or like unpacking to move into your new place. The amount of crap we have thrown, I think we did about, I'm going to say about 12 to 15 trips to the skip because there was that much stuff. Do a few declutters if you want. Do it like room by room. Do a room, declutter it, and just keep doing that in like the weeks before you're moving, because it will make your life a lot easier when it comes to packing and then unpacking. Trust. Tip number 10, lazy girl hack, as always. If you can avoid packing it, as in like taking it out of the vessel that it's in and packing it away, or bubble wrap, whatever you want to do, if you can avoid doing that, do. Because let me tell you, there is nothing worse when you're trying to move than packing all of the stuff away and then having to unpack it and put it back where it was. Do you hear how crazy that sounds? Why are we doing that? Why are we actually doing that? So do you know what I did? All of the drawers that were in the bed, we literally just took the drawers out, left the stuff in it, and put that in the van. My IKEA Alex drawers that I have all my makeup in, I just unscrewed the brackets from the drawers, pulled the drawers out, pushed the brackets in, put the drawers in a car, put the drawer unit, I guess, into the van, and then I just put the drawers back in when we got to the house. I really couldn't be bothered, honestly. Anything that was in a box already, it just stayed in said box. If it was in a drawer, it stayed in said drawer. The only things that came out were the stuff in the wardrobe, the bed we had to take apart, and the hanging rails. And one more thing, a little bonus tip from us. No matter what, make sure that you set your payment date for the very last possible day in the month that you can. What they'll normally do is charge you daily interest from the day of completion, so the day you get the keys, up until the end of that calendar month, and then a whole month, and they do all of that in one go. Ours do it a little bit different where, and to be fair, it's probably worked out better for us in this sense, that you pay that interest, that kind of prorated interest, 14 days after completion. So what we'll do is we'll set it for the 18th of the month. That way then, when it comes to 14 days after, that will be the 1st of September, which means that we'd have already been paid a few days before that, so we've definitely got the money there. Because we'd set our payment date for the 1st of the month, they were then taking our first full mortgage payment and that interest on the same day, which meant we would have been paying a month and a half worth of the mortgage. And yeah, that kind of scared us a little bit, and we were like, oh crap. As much as we can afford to do that, don't really want to. So we ended up calling them and have managed to fix it. So what they've done is that first payment coming out on the 1st of September, and then we set our payment date for the 30th. That way now we have that little extra buffer there. So we've got that money there. We've paid off a bit of debt. Great for us. Saved ourselves some money. And then our first mortgage payment comes out on the 30th of September, and we will get paid on the 29th. So we're not paying them both at the same time. So yeah, make sure that your direct debit, like your payment date, discuss it with your mortgage broker, because they will set that up when they do your mortgage application. Make sure it is as late in the month as it can possibly be. Okay, if you've made it this far, well done. Claps for you and a pat on the back. Your efforts will not go unrewarded. As promised, here is an empty house tour of our brand new house. Okay, I'm coming at you from our new house. This is the porch. Yes, we have a little porch. I'm so excited. Are you ready? So here's the hallway. I'm thinking getting some kind of mirror to go there. And then we come through into the kitchen. It's very echoey in here at the minute. And look, they left us a little prezzy. Left us a little prezzy. Not opened that yet. We've got a little bottle of Prosecco, so we'll celebrate. Keys. But look at this. Now, if you're wondering where like the fridge freezer is, it's down here. So you've got like built-in fridge freezers, lavalier, and then washing machine, and a huge ass dishwasher. I'm so excited, guys, and look at this. Look at this sink. Perfect spot for me to fit my cooker tap. I will be getting that at some point. Nice little oven and hob. This I thought was a TV, but it's not. And then we've got this, where we can put like the spices and stuff, which is so good. The only thing now is figuring out where, like what cupboard we're going to put the cat's food and stuff in. Maybe down here, I'm thinking. And then down here is where the cat's food bowls and their water fountain's gonna go, because there's a very conveniently placed plug socket right there. I love these radiators too. But then, here's the living room. Look at it. Again, very echoey, but guys, can we just? Oh my God. And then the garden. This is unlocked. This was what sold it for us. Look at this freaking garden. No words. Absolutely no words. Oh my God, this is crazy. So we've got a garage there for like storage and stuff, but we're thinking we might turn that into part storage, part bar or something like that. We'll see. That there, just give me a second. We've secured the key. This, again, this was another thing that sold it for us. Look at this. We have our own little summer house. Look at this. Oh my God. A little bracket on the wall and stuff. We've got like a wall heater, ventilation, plenty of plug sockets. Now, the previous owners did say to us that in the summer, this does get hot as balls. It gets hot as balls. Even the light in here is great. I'm loving it already. So they said it's not that great in terms of if you want to sit in here when it's hot, but we have an aircon unit, so we might actually be okay. But I'm very excited. So Jamie and I went to DFS today. We were looking at getting like a sofa, another sofa for the living room, because we like the one we've got, but now that we've got a bigger space, we want to get the sofa that we wanted to when we moved into that place, like that old place. So we went in, one thing led to another, and now we're thinking of getting a cinema seat. I think that's what it's called. It's basically like a two-seater. So, you know, when you go to the View, you get the premium seats in Printworks in Manchester, and you've got the reclining seat that reclines the back bit and the foot bit. Yes, that. It has built-in speakers, has built-in cup holders, a built-in little cubby thing for your drinks, snacks, whatever, and then in the sides it's got like built-in pull-out drawers, and then it also has wireless charging pads. So that's going to go here, along this wall here, and then we're going to have the TV there, obviously, and then there, I'm not entirely sure because I don't want it to like kind of get in the way of the view of whoever sat here, but we're thinking like a bar built across here with like a breakfast bar and then some stools, and then over the other side, on this side, next to the chairs, depending on which way we want to do it, but we'll get one that's like either a cupboard or drawers and a countertop bit where we can put like the under counter fridge that we've got, maybe even some optics on the wall. But we definitely want to get another Ninja Slushie. We've only got one, we definitely want two because Jamie wants to make ice blasts. And then it would only be fair to get a popcorn machine if we're going to turn it into like a cinema room. Jamie's showing the garage. Let's go across the garden. No. Oh wow, that is a massive garage.
So you can stick your storage at the back here.
Yeah, I want to get some like metal shelving so we can put the
table here.
You could easily do that, babe. You could easily do that. Pizza room can definitely go in here because then we can have pizza even if it's pissing down with rain. But yeah, I'm so excited, guys. When we came to view this bit here, they had it was like a L-shaped sofa, and then it had like a little table, and I found like a fire pit concrete table that looks lush. So I'm thinking of getting that. It's obviously gonna take us a long time, and I think certain plans we had about certain things are probably gonna get put on hold for the sake of decorating, furnishing this house, especially the garden. It's mostly the garden because we have pretty much everything else. Little cupboard under the stairs. We could probably put some coats in here. Broadband router might live in there, or we might be able to put it on the TV stand. They left all the light fittings as well, bless them. The only thing they really took was the curtains, but we have these blinds, so I'm not even gonna worry about curtains for a while. No. They're expensive, and to be honest, not really that necessary at the moment. We've got time. Then we've got the upstairs. So as you come upstairs, first door is going to be the dressing room. And this door doesn't open all the way because it's hiding some very special wardrobes. I'm so excited. So we've got a double hanging rail, the sliding doors. These are the IKEA Pax wardrobes. So we don't have to buy them now, which is absolutely brilliant. Oh my God. Look at this. We definitely hit the jackpot. And because these bits are already built, we can always buy more inserts. So if we wanted to change these drawers for different ones, move stuff around, we could. But this room is basically going to be like the dressing room / walk-in wardrobe. So I'm going to try and set up like a vanity here. Maybe have like my Alex drawers. So I've got like all my makeup and stuff in here. I can maybe use this as a bit of a filming room. Then next bedroom is the master bedroom. And again, light fixtures, left them behind. They're so lovely. So our beds are going to be going here. Ideally, I'd want these wardrobes on this back wall, but we're not going to move them yet. You can see that they're just on here with like a piece of wood. So they've just been screwed into the wall. They're not fitted as such, but they very kindly left them for us. So our bed's going to go here for now. It probably will stay there, to be fair, because even if we put the wardrobes there, we could always use this space as like a nice little bit. We could put like a mirror in on the floor, take pictures, or like another little dressing table or something like that, or maybe a big chest of drawers, something. I just like a lot of storage because Jamie and I have a lot of stuff. And then here's the wardrobes. Again, guys, IKEA Pax wardrobes with the fucking lights. Look at this. Oh my God. Oh my God. Then middle section with a mirror. Again, lights. Another hanging rail. And some more drawers under here. Third wardrobe, again, same setup as the other one. Loving it. We've just got so much storage space now. I'm so excited. Then this is technically like the, I guess, second bedroom that it was described as on the floor plan. This will likely be a home office / potential guest room at the moment. So I'll maybe put my desk here, or I could put it across here. We're trying to figure everything out because we've got that huge ass sofa bed. And I'm trying to think in my head whether it'd fit in here or whether it's just gonna swallow the room up. I have a feeling it will, so we might have to rethink that. And then my favorite room of the house. Look at this bathroom. I'm gonna turn the light on actually. Are you seeing this? Look at this huge double shower. I'm so excited. Oh, it's got shelving in it already. It's big enough to fit like 4 people in. I'm not joking. Like, it is massive. And I'm so excited to have a shower in here. I do, however, want to get a waterfall shower head, if we can. Build a little vanity with some storage space. Lovely. And then we've got, oh, we could put the bin down there. I was wondering where I was going to put that. It's got like built-in storage spaces, like these little pockets. Quite deep as well. So we could fit quite a lot in there. I was worried we weren't going to have enough storage space. Little mirror. And then obviously toilet. This box part here, which is like the bit above the stairs. Towel rail. So I have to try and think of some funky ways that we could use this. But down here in the corner is where the cat's litter tray is going to go, because we don't have a downstairs toilet anymore at the moment. But then we've got this lovely mirror, which will be perfect for selfies. Oh my God, they've left us some toilet roll, bless them. And that concludes this tour of Shea Galasso Winchcombe. Okay, what do you think? I honestly cannot believe how lucky we have been with this house, and it feels so great waking up to that every morning. Our bedrooms are at the back, so every morning when I go into like the dressing room to grab something, or I happen to open the blinds because Jamie's actually got out of bed early, it is so nice looking out at that garden. The girls have been loving it as well. They've just taken to the garden so well. Luna absolutely loves being out there. Evie's jumped the fence a couple of times, so we're going to have to spend a small fortune now on cat-proofing the fences in the garden so she doesn't keep jumping into next doors. Luna's very easy. She will jump on the fence, but I might get down. And she gets down. Whereas Evie, half a brain cell all the time. So she just, you say get down, she jumps over the other side instead of back in the garden. And she keeps going near some of the plants that we haven't had a chance to get rid of yet because they're toxic. And I feel awful. Like, I said to the husband of the couple, I was like, oh my God, your wife's going to kill me because I've got to pull out some of the plants. Not all of them, luckily. But some of them I'm going to have to get rid of them because I can't trust Evie not to eat them. And I kind of don't want her to die. So we're going to have to do that. So that'll be a big project. But I can't explain to you how excited I am about this house. It's an incredible feeling. 1, owning a house, but 2, owning a house like this as our first home. I'm sorry, what? So keep an eye out because there will definitely be more home content going forward. I didn't really like showing things in the other house because it was rented. There wasn't really much I could do, but here, this is ours. This is my canvas. We bought a drill the other day. I'm going to be doing all sorts. Who's going to stop me? Who? And that, I'm afraid, brings us to the end of this video. So, as usual, I hope you've enjoyed watching this as much as I've enjoyed filming it and the house tour. And also that you found it educational, inspirational and entertaining, because that is kind of the point around here. If you have any more questions about our housebound journey, if you want to see more videos about things, if you have any ideas for videos I could do about the house or just any content in general, do leave them in the comments down below. And as I said before, do make sure you subscribe because there will definitely be a lot more home content. I'm looking forward to doing like my soft girl Sundays, weekend resets, weekend vlogs in this house. Because let me tell you, some of the plans we've got for some of the spaces in here, I think you're gonna love. That's all I'm gonna say. And on that note, thanks for watching, but I am gonna love you, leave you, and see you in the next one.